This is a hefty TBR, man. I can see it already and we're not even halfway. Hi friends and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my September TBR. I'm very excited about September for multiple reasons. First of all, it's my birthday month. I have no clue how I'm gonna celebrate, if I will even celebrate. Honestly, I can't be bothered at the moment. Second of all, I'm going traveling a bunch in September. I'm traveling both with a friend and later on together with my mom. So I'm hoping to do a bunch of reading during those trips. It will be my summer holidays, but a bit delayed, I guess. I'm gonna be laying on beaches, I'm gonna be relaxing, having fun. So it's not gonna be like an adventurous type of trip, it's gonna be more relaxing, which means that hopefully I will have plenty of time to read. That's my ambition at least. And because I will be traveling a lot again in September, I won't be participating in any readathon, unfortunately. I haven't really been doing the best with my readathon participations these last few months. And I don't intend to attempt now because I just know it's gonna set me up for failure. So instead I'm gonna focus on reading things I'm excited to read. But I have still decided to spice up this TBR a tad bit by playing my TBR game, which is where I randomize my TBR based on a few categories. So we actually have plenty to talk about today. I'm gonna be randomizing my TBR, I'm gonna be sharing my vacation TBR, so books I've already planned to read. I'm gonna talk about books I am excited to read, like recent releases that I will probably drop everything for. And of course we also have my year-long challenges that I'm still attempting to keep up with. I do think September's TBR will be a hefty one, but I also feel not confident that I will read every single book, but that I will read a good bit of it. I'm gonna talk about my vacation TBR first, because I've had these books planned for a few weeks actually. I have quite a hefty vacation TBR and fairly fantasy heavy as well. When I consider my previous record of reading when I've been away, for example when I was in Thailand, in February, I was away for about 10 or 12 days. I did complete 4 books, like 4.5 books I think I read while I was away. 2 of them being epic fantasies. Last year when I was in Spain together with my friend, I believe I read 3 books. I do feel like I should be able to read around 3 or 4 books. And then of course it's always nice to have options. Let's just get into it. The book I've been planning to read on this trip for half a year now is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. I read The Final Empire when I was at Koh Samui in Thailand in February on the beach. I read it in like 2 days maximum. So I have the intention of reading this one on the beach. This is the sequel to The Final Empire. I'm super excited because I loved The Final Empire. It was so much fun. It had great characters, a fun magic system, like it was amazing. And my friend will be reading The Final Empire, so we will sort of be twinning, which is super fun as well. This is a chunker. It is over 700 pages. I felt like with The Final Empire, it was quite an easy and quick read, despite the size of it. The story had a flow, it was very accessible, so I do feel quite confident about finishing this one while I'm away. The Final Empire is basically a story about a world or a kingdom where the bad guy is ruling. So it's sort of a heist story of how they are trying to conquer this bad emperor. While that one was fun, I feel like this one is gonna deal a lot more with the consequences of what happened in that first book. I have a feeling it's gonna get more political and strategical, which I tend to enjoy. Another fantasy that I am so excited to finally pick up again is Jade War. I started reading this one like 1.5 years ago. It's embarrassing the fact that I'm 180 pages in and haven't finished it, because I do love this. I loved Jade City and I was so excited to continue with Jade War. For some reason I stopped and then I didn't pick it up. I picked it up for like a couple of chapters earlier this year. Was super excited to be back with it. Then again didn't finish it, so it's finally time. I'm bringing it with me. I'm already a third through it or something. This is another sequel. It's a sequel to Jade City, which is the Greenbone saga, and it's basically about gangs and drug cartels in a world that's inspired by Hong Kong. Once again, it's a book that deals with the aftermath of the first book. And this one, like, I love the characters, I love the magic system, it's great. There's so much I adore. Already here we have about 1,000 more than 1,000 pages to read. Hopefully just a couple of days on the beach, we're gonna see though. The next book I'm planning to read while I am in Spain is somewhat related to a book I read last year while I was in Spain. The book I'm talking about is The American Roommate Experiment, and why this one is related to what I read last year is because last year while I was in Spain, I read The Spanish Love Deception. I loved The Spanish Love Deception. It's a companion book, like the first book in this companion series. I loved that one, was obsessed, I thought it was quite funny to read The Spanish Love Deception while in Spain. I even vlogged it somewhere. I've heard very, very mixed things about this one, and mainly bad things from people that loved The Spanish Love Deception, which is why I've been putting this one off and haven't read it yet. But my friend mentioned that, hey, wouldn't it be fun if you continued with this series when we went to Spain, because you read the first book while we were in Spain. And I was like, yeah, that's actually quite a nice idea. So I will finally pick this one up, although I am a bit nervous about it. These stories are like romantic comedies. This one is mainly about Rosie, and she has quit her well-paid job to focus on her secret career as a romance writer, only to enter a creative slump. She also has some bad luck with her apartment, so she goes to her best friend's apartment, where she meets her best friend's cousin Lucas. Lucas suggests that they should share the small space, and when he learns about Rosie's writer's block, he proposes an outrageous idea. He'll take her on a series of experimental dates to reignite her literary muse. I don't think I've ever read the entire plot of this one, or like the back of it. From reading that, I'm excited. Cohabitation is my favorite trope in romances. It should be fun, but once again, I've heard so many mixed things from fans of the first book, and that's what worries me. But fingers crossed, hopefully it's gonna be a fun beach read either way. The fourth book I decided to bring with me, I decided on this together with my friend once again. We were on the phone talking through each other's TBR. You might know her, it's Steffi. We went to Edinburgh together as well. And she said, hey, you should bring a book that you purchased when we were in Edinburgh. And I was like, yeah, it's been a while. I should. We decided together on The Splendid City by Karen Hewler. I picked this one up very randomly in Edinburgh because it looks and sounds so extremely random. I think it's some sort of satire almost. In the state of liberty, water is rationed, free speech comes at a price, and paranoia runs deep. Eleanor, a rebellious young witch, has been put under house arrest with her lecherous co-worker Stan, who loves craft beer, fish tacos, and shooting people. Eleanor has little time for Stan, that's why she turned him into a talking cat. Besides, she's got a job to do. Locate a missing witch who seems to be mysteriously linked to the water shortages affecting the city. But she needs to keep an eye on Stan. He's caught the scent of a treasure hunt and won't hesitate to give up Eleanor to get his paws on the prize. It seems to be quirky and fun. The cover intrigued me. Some of the blurbs and tidbits on the back intrigue me. It says here, filed under, liberty for all, water is beautiful, ice everywhere, and standing for Stan. Honestly, that had me hooked. Is my planned vacation TBR, these 4 books. I will also be bringing my e-reader with me, just in case. You never know, in case I'm not feeling any of these or I want something else. We're gonna see. We have 2 epic fantasies, some romance, and some fantastical low fantasy. There is a book that I picked up today that I'm very likely to bring with me. Most likely, I'm certain I will. Because last week, a very anticipated read of mine was released, and I finally picked it up today. And that is He Who Drowned the World by Shelley Parker Chan. I'm so excited, oh my god. This is the sequel to She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan, obviously. It's the sequel in the Radiant Empire duology. So excited. This is a story that's inspired by Chinese and Mongolian history, so it's historical fantasy. We're following a character who sort of took on another person's identity and has made her way high up in the ranks of the military. I'm too excited to not bring this one with me, which is an issue because I don't typically like to bring hardbacks with me when I go traveling, but I might make an exception for this one. I also plan on filming a proper review for this one because I did make one, my first ever book review, solo book review I made for the first book in the series. I think I might just scrap my entire current TBR that I'm reading right now, start reading this one, and then bring it with me to Spain, because that's how excited I am about this one. Vacation TBR done. So if I add that new book, this is the stack. Very fantasy heavy, but I do sort of feel like I am in my fantasy era, so I'm okay with it. Probably won't read all 5 while I'm away. Once again, we like to have options in this household. Next up, I'm actually gonna start by randomizing my TBR. My TBR game is when I use a random number generator on my phone. I put like an interval of numbers and then randomly pick a number, and that will represent a book for me. It's more difficult to explain than to understand. I have decided to do this for 4 categories this month. The first category I'm gonna be choosing a book from is my 12 books recommended by 12 friends. This is a year-long challenge that I'm doing where I'm attempting, haven't really done the best, but I'm attempting to read one of these books each month. I have read, I think, 4 out of the 12, so I am behind, most definitely, which is why I need to prioritize it, and which is why I'm making it its own category. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen now on my phone, and according to this list, there are 8 books I have not yet read. 3 books I have read, 1 I have DNF'd. I'm going to choose a number between 1 and 8, and I'm gonna count this way. Okay, so 1 and 8, are we ready? 3, 2, 1. 6, okay, book 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'll go and grab this one. The book that was chosen for my 12 books recommended by 12 friends was Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. This is one of the first Illumicrate books I ever received. I'm really bad at reading my Illumicrate books, so it's good that it's on the list. I will definitely not bring this with me while I go to Spain, because it's like a beautiful edition. Obviously, I don't want to ruin it by getting it all wet and sandy and all of that. It's an irreverent retelling of The Goose Girl. No clue what The Goose Girl is. It's about Vanya Schmidt, who is the adopted goddaughter of Death and Fortune. She is the servant of Princess Giselle until a year ago, when her otherworldly mothers demanded payment for their care, and Vanya decided to steal her future back by stealing Giselle's life. Vanya leads a lonely but lucrative double life as a princess and jewel thief, charming the nobility while emptying their coffers to fund her great escape. With a feral guardian half-god, Giselle's sinister fiancé, and an over-eager junior detective on her tail, Vanya has just 2 weeks to pull off her biggest grift yet. Interesting. So we have double life, we have a thief, we have a detective, sort of. Okay, interesting. I'm intrigued. Had I hoped for something that I could perhaps have on my e-reader instead? Yes. Although I will definitely have time when I'm back home to read, so perhaps my aim will be to read this between my travels. Good choice, good choice. This is a hefty TBR, man. I can see it already, and we're not even halfway. Another challenge I need to focus on is These Books Will Self-Destruct challenge. So basically last year in November I posted a video where I said that if I don't read these books within a year, I'm gonna need to unhaul those books. I had a look at that list recently and realized that I still have not read any of those 10 books on the list. And because of this, I've decided to make it its own category, so I actually read one of these books. The books on the list are Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Little Thieves, oh great! Great! Daughter of the Moon Goddess, Start Your Own Fucking Brand, Box, The Drowned Woods, Lore, Factfulness, The Song of Rage and Ruin, and The Beautiful. So actually we already have one of the books from that challenge on the TBR, which means that I just need to randomize a number between 1 and 9. Hey! We love when things work out. Between 1 and 9. 3, 2, 1. Number 2. I don't remember. Here's the list. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, obviously not Little Thieves, so then it's Daughter of the Moon Goddess. Hey! This is a chunky and fantasy heavy TBR. The next book randomized for my TBR is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. I've actually been wanting to read this for a while, like I've had this urge to pick this one up actually. So I'm very excited it got picked, but I also see now that it's gonna be a very fantasy heavy month. But I am in a fantasy sort of mood, so maybe it will work out, I don't know. This is once again a retelling of, I think this time it's Chinese mythology. Inspired by the legend of Chang'e, The Moon Goddess, this captivating debut weaves Chinese mythology into a sweeping adventure of love and family, immortals and magic. It's about Xingyin, her magic flares, and her existence is discovered because I think her mother was hiding her, so she is forced to flee her home. She makes her way to the Celestial Kingdom, a land of wonder and secrets in disguise. Ooh, another disguise story. I have like 3 disguise stories on this list. In disguise, she trains alongside the Emperor's son, mastering archery and magic despite the passion which flames between them. To rescue her mother, Xingyin embarks on a quest, confronting legendary creatures and vicious enemies. But when forbidden magic threatens the kingdom, Xingyin must challenge the ruthless emperor, leaving her torn between losing all she loves or plunging the realm into chaos. This one sounds great. I'm very excited about this, and I'm glad I will be reading it, because I honestly don't want to unhaul this. I have not only 1 or 2, but actually 3 disguise stories now. So that's interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I'm happy with this choice though. Now we're gonna look at the more crazy categories, because there are 2 more I'm gonna choose books from. The first one I'm gonna do is my entire physical TBR. So I had a count right before now, and I have about 119 books on my physical TBR. I'm not including like other sequels that I'm yet to get to. I'm also not including books I'm like still reading as of today, this month, like my August TBR, which is mainly Obsidio and The 3-Body Problem. I think I should exclude all of the 7 books I've talked about now. So 119 minus 7, which gets us to 112 books to choose from. It's gonna be interesting though, because I have not randomized my physical TBR since I reorganized my shelves. So usually I sort of know when I see the number what shelf it will be and what types of books are on that shelf. But since I reorganized this, I'm not that used to the order yet and the system. This is where I start to get nervous. We're gonna screen record. I'm gonna put from 1 to 112 and we're gonna press randomize. 3, 2, 1. 48. Okay, interesting. I'm gonna film on my phone and we'll get to number 48. Welcome to my shelves, and let's count to 48. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, down. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, down. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, down. Move this. 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, down. 45, 46, 47, 48. Interesting. Yo, I'm not mad about this. Number 48 on my shelves is King of Wrath by Anna Huang. Quite a recent haul for me. I bought it like in July or even start of August. A proper dirty romance. Or I don't know if it's dirty, but I'm assuming it's dirty. I'm assuming it's spicy at least. I haven't read anything by Anna Huang. I've been wanting to read more of the TikTok books, the book talk romances, so to say, which is why I picked this one up. This one is good. I might bring it on my second trip. I think it's like a billionaire romance, basically. She's the wife he never wanted, and the weakness he never saw coming. Okay, I love that already. Dante Russo thrives on control, both personally and professionally. The billionaire CEO never planned to marry until the threat of blackmail forces him into an engagement with a woman he barely knows. This sounds so dramatic. Vivian Lau is the perfect daughter and her family's ticket into the upper echelons of high society. Marrying a blue-blooded Russo means opening doors that would otherwise remain closed to her new money family. I think this can be fun. I think this can be really fun and a nice break from all the fantasy. I'm excited. Good choice. The last category I'm gonna randomize a book from is a bit of an intense one. And that is my entire want to read list on Goodreads. I didn't plan on doing this, but I've been scrolling my want to read today and there's a bunch of fun things there. And I thought that, hey, it could be nice to perhaps find like an audiobook or a random sort of unexpected read. According to my Goodreads want to read list, I have 845 books on there. So I'm gonna be randomizing a number between 1 and 845. I'm gonna go to my computer and look up what number it is. because when you look at your list on the computer, they are actually numbered. They are not on the phone. Unless it's like number 10 or something like that. But if it's like 538, I'ma look that up. Just letting you know. So this could be literally anything. Any genre, any size, any language, anything. Are we ready? This could be literally anything. Anything. 3, 2, 1. 813. I'm not even gonna try. Or maybe I could count backwards. If I remember correctly, the latest book you added to You Want to Read is the one that gets the highest number. So the first book I ever added is number 1. It's sorted by date added reverse, which I think is correct. So basically the highest up is 845, and then I'm gonna count down to, what number was it? 813. So
45, 44, 43, 44, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 37, 34, 33, 34, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31,
19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Interesting. According to this, the book pick is Throttled by Lauren Asher, which is a Formula 1 romance, which sounds like a lot of fun because I am a fan of Formula 1, more specifically of Carlos Sainz. Apparently the vibe for my September TBR is fantasy and romance. I don't mind really. So that was my randomized TBR. Next thing on the agenda is to talk about the challenges I'm attempting to keep up with. So I'm doing a few challenges. You probably know about them already. The first one I'm focusing on is Buzzwordathon, hosted by Kayla from Books and Lala. And the buzzword or theme for September is a game-related word. I had a look through my Want to Read, my physical TBR, all of that, and I have decided to read The Hating Game. I already own this one as an ebook, and I've been meaning to read it ever since it was super hyped, like 3 years ago. So it's about time I finally get to it. Obviously we have game in the title, another romance. Suddenly this went from like super fantasy to super romance. From what I remember, it's a office romance. So it's about these two colleagues. I think they work in publishing or stuff like that. Yeah, I know it's an office romance. I know it's hate to love. That's basically it. And it was super duper hyped like 3 years ago, like pre-book talk or alongside book talk. Next challenge that I already mentioned that I'm doing is 12 books recommended by 12 friends. We have already picked the book for that one, and that is Little Thieves. The final year-long challenge I'm doing is Globetrotterathon, hosted by my friend Kevin, where you read a book relating to a different part of the world each month. For September, we are supposed to read a book that somehow relates to the Middle East. My initial thought was to continue reading either Khaled Hossein's books. So I've read The Kite Runner, but he has also written like, what's it called? 1,000 Suns and The Mountains Echo, something like that. But then I asked on Twitter as well for recommendations, and I got the recommendation for The Ghazad Air, because apparently this is an Egyptian-inspired story. This is the most recent book that I received from my Illumicrate subscription, and I'm honestly super duper excited about this one. It says here, from the ashes, a queen rises. It's an Egyptian-inspired epic fantasy debut. At 10 years old, the heir of Ghazad fled a massacre that consumed her entire family. At 15, she buried her first body. At 20, her carefully crafted lies are starting to crumble. Once again, a hidden identity. Am I sensing a theme? What's up with these hardbacks? I never read hardbacks, and now I have 4 on this TBR. I'm very glad that I got this one as a recommendation, so thank you for that. This is, I guess, the final book on this TBR. Although, I'm gonna need to mention a final one. A book that's being released in September, but I'm not certain I will get a hold of until October. And that book is Fragile Threads of Power by W.E. Schwab, the continuation of the A Darker Shade of Magic series, which I very recently reread, just like last week. I loved it, was obsessed with it, so happy to be back in that world. This is the start of a new series in the same universe, featuring the same characters, and I couldn't be more excited. I have pre-ordered this one from Waterstones because they had a very pretty and signed edition. Knowing from experience now, it might take a bit longer for this pre-order to travel from UK and arrive in Stockholm, so I'm not counting on having this book in my hands before October. The moment I get this one, I'll most likely drop everything and pick that one up because I'm crazy excited. I believe it's the chunkiest addition to the series yet. We are getting introduced to a new character with some cool powers, but we will also have our previous characters that I love and am obsessed with in the new book, and I'm super duper excited about this one because it was so the right choice for me to reread the series now, because it got me even more hyped about this new book. Tentatively putting it on my September TBR, but I don't think I will read it until October because I'm not gonna have it until October. This is the stack! 9 books plus The Hating Game and Throttled. And we have a very clear fantasy theme and also romance theme going on. So I have how many fantasies? 6.5, and then like 4 romances. I'm very excited to read. I think I'm gonna do plenty of physical reading, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to read all of these. I'm actually super hyped. This is such a cool TBR. Imagine if I have the most epic reading month during my birthday month. Wouldn't that be awesome? Please let me know which one of these books that you think I will love the most. There's plenty of contenders for 5 stars here, and I'm very, very, very excited about reading all of these books in my birth month. Just throwing it out there as well, I want to do a vlog that's sort of surrounding my star sign and my birthday, so I might throw in another random book in this mix, we're gonna see. I might also pick up my final Fredrik Backman book that I need to read in order to have read his entire bibliography, which is The Deal of a Lifetime. I cannot find it anywhere in physical format in Swedish. It's sold out, they haven't reproduced it or anything. So I'm just gonna have to purchase it to my e-reader, read it there, and then one day pick it up when it's available again. Might read those as well, throwing it out there. That would make it a 13 book TBR. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. I'm very excited about September and all of these amazing books. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Please take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye!
You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes